versus Superminds. Both these players had to do some magic here. Superminds, the #1 overall seed, got a bye straight to this round. Spirit Vet eliminating Pumpy Heart on ClassicTetris2 mere moments ago. So he's looking to ride the high of that win, get a little bit of an upset going on here. Both these players playing relatively clean. Superminds got a little bit of a dig situation. He's got rolling play style, nothing he can't handle. But he's going to give Spirit Vet a bit of an early start here. That was a triple on the right there. Never what you want to do. You can still help it, but when you get that high up to start with, there's nothing you can do about that. Still high here. That is again a triple, and he might elect to build up here, or just burn it down. We've seen a lot of strange wells going on today, and it looks like he is going to commit to that column 3 and gets a clean Tetris out of it, or maybe that was another triple. I didn't see. Spirit Vet has just been piling it on now. Almost got a 100K lead early in the game. He's going to have to take a couple of burns here, but he's got a bit of wiggle room to do it because of that early dig from Superminds. I see a match is completed on the flag station as well, but up here we have Superminds going a little bit aggressive. Got some weird parry situations going on at the top. Moving pieces at will, left and right. He is pretty much out of the woods already. A little bit of weird to clear up. That was a very good Spirit Vet on the other hand. Kind of going for a Tetris start to Greenville for a second here, but this is still burnable. That extra mismatch pain. We need the dash player, so we can't. Can't move repeat if we want to. It's going to be a top out for Spirit Vet. He is in the lead. Superminds down. Game 1 to him.
Yeah. I don't know what's the mask. I can't hear it.
Yeah. I don't know what's audible on the speakers.
Yes.
Okay. I've been running Smash Bros all day, so it's like my voice is gonna die. All right, so 1-game lead for Superminds. Spirit Vet still in this. Anything can happen. There's a best of 3, so he's against the wall. But if both players are ready, then I believe we're ready too. Yeah, it looks like a bit of technical issues on Spirit Vet's side. We'll get that resolved real quick. Nice camera moment there. So if both players are ready, then 3, 2, 1, Tetris. That was cathartic. Alright, so first blood going over to Spirit Vet, Superminds quick to follow. Both players just kind of feeling out their boards right now. Nothing too crazy. Little bit of a weird delayed burn there from Superminds, but gets it resolved super efficiently. That's what you want in these early lines. Is don't get anything too crazy. Spirit Vet doing the same, staying relatively efficient. Has a bit of an awkward dependency in the middle of the board, has to cover it, which is gonna cause some trouble down the line, and that's a T-hang on the left. We're gonna see if he can get anything over there. But the board's kind of spiraling, and he's gonna top out, and Superminds is already good. That is a 2-0 in favor of Superminds. GG's to Superminds and Spirit Bet, but we'll have I believe our next set coming up in a minute here. The bracket scene flash here. Alright, so we're going to take a look around the bracket real quick. No upsets so far, but we do have a couple of really powerhouse matches coming up. Now that we're into the quarterfinals, into the real meat and potatoes of bracket. All right, so we do have our next match called. It will be Steve-O and Noel on the main stage. So respectively, the third and sixth. All right, we are prepping our next match between Noel and Steve-O. Both players are ready. Then 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Both players starting off the game having to make a tuck. And they both nail it. Already a misdrop for Noel. Nothing too terrible. Gonna elect to build one off the bottom just to start with. Bit of a weird tuck sequence for Steve-O as well, but gets out of it really well. Oh, Noel misdrops up high. That's going to be a little bit tough. Formed a bit of a cavern there. He's going to try to get some material down there, but he can get out of it. Oh, another misdrop up high. Gets the tap over, so not going to end his game yet. But it does mean that gives Steve-O a little leeway, although he's in a dig of his own. Both players kind of on a struggle bus right now. Steve-O's going to be the first to get clean and slams down a Tetris. Takes a bit of a decisive lead in the early goings. So Noel still up high, takes that dirty triple, but he's fine. You take a triple over the end of the game, any day of the week, and he's going to bang down a Tetris. One off the bottom after a wild sequence. Gonna elect to clear off that last little line down there and maybe go for another off-center well. We've seen that a lot today in all phases. People going for these non-traditional wells whenever they get off to a bad start. And he's gonna bang down the column 2 Tetris. Meanwhile, Steve-O just kind of casually cruising, standard right well, nothing to see here. Noel actually had the lead for a second there. Steve-O takes it back. 2 quick Tetrises. Noel still committing to this column 2 well. And Steve-O going to bang down another one to take a 50K lead as Noel not quite Tetris ready when that long bar came. Had to plug it for just a second. Steve-O takes a triple there as there was a little hole on the left side of the stack. Looks like Noel's at long last back to a normal looking Tetris well. Alright, so Noel, good board situation here. Steve-O is a bit wonky for a second. This is going to allow Noel to close the gap. And it is basically an even game at this point, although Noel misdrops, and now he is back to the point of repair. Steve-O retakes the lead, just barely, but another misdrop from Noel, and he is trying his best to just salvage something out of this 18 game. Might even just elect to burn it down. Try again on 19. Oh, just barely couldn't get that burn in time for the long bar. And Noel's board kind of spiraling. Still okay, but losing a lot of ground here. Steve-O is just piling it on. He's found a groove for just a little bit. It's a lead that about to hit 100K, not quite there yet. Noel kind of looking for some burns here. Not really finding what he's looking for as far as down stacking goes. Steve-O's got an awkward left side, but looking fine. And Noel with dirty Tetris. Down the left. Up, I don't even know how many rows. And now Steve-O's got a really, really awful alternating well going on. I believe he can tap his way out of this, but that's barely going to burn anything. Yeah, just one line with a long bar. Not what you're looking for. So now both players in a bit of a dig sequence. Steve-O, with that little bit of time he had with consistent Tetris, still has the lead. And now Steve-O is clean and scoring again. Noel is still way up high. As I believe transition's starting to loom. And there's Noel with the 260K transition. Steve-O not far behind as far as lines, but way ahead in score. You know, trying to keep this board from getting dicey. Now is about the worst time for it to be a bad board, but he keeps it just clean enough. And Noel getting it really high. That left side is awful, and he can't get the bar over. And Steve-O, already in the lead, takes game one. So game one is done and gone, and I believe both players are ready for game two. Then we'll go ahead and count it down. Can we get a 3, 2, 1, Tetris? Both players again having to start with tucks. Gotta love Nest Tetris for you. So both players just kind of establishing their initial board. Steve-O gets the first Tetris, and Noel right to follow. No major leads developing yet. So a little bit of dicey spots on each board. None of them really festered. A couple burns here and there, but both players Tetris out of it. All right, Tetris for both, and we are dead heat right now on the early goings of level 18. Steve-O has to plug as well right there before the Tetris can come. Gonna resolve it pretty quickly. That might be a Tetris towards Noel. Steve-O has the lead, so he's not worried about it. And Noel shaking his head as he Tetrises back into the lead ever so briefly. And he's back there. I think we can safely call this one neck and neck. There's the crowd. Thank you, guys. So Noel falling behind a little bit, digging just a few more maintenance burns in the early goings. Nothing game-breaking by any chance. Getting up a little bit high, a little bit dicey. Has a long bar dependency in column 8. Gets the long bar and the dirty Tetris. That's nasty. Steve-O just playing, completely normal level 18 Tetris. What you expect out of high-level players. So about a 50k lead for Steve-O here. Noel makes me wrong before I even finish saying that as he gets another Tetris. Oh, a little bit of a misdrop up high, and he's got already a few holes down low. This is another chance for Steve-O to start piling on the points here, as Noel has to dig this. Going with the head nods as he's trying to downstack here. Oh, another misdrop. Looks like he took a look at his controller too. Might have some problems on that end. Steve-O the whole time has been clean and just piling on the points. Lead is 100k already and still climbing with that. Another Tetris. Noel got a square and a bad parity board. It's worst feeling on level 18. So he'll have a few more lines and should be clean relatively soon. But the damage is already done for this phase of the game. Steve-O is ahead by almost 200,000 points. Still a lot of Tetris to be played in this particular game. And finally, Noel is clean. Does have a long bar dependency, but fills it rather quickly. He's got a standard right well going, and finally a boom Tetris down the right after a just insanely long dig sequence. Now he's back in the groove. Now he's looking to score some. And Steve-O, a bit of an issue up top. This is the opening that Noel needed after that dig. So Noel, nice little delayed burn there. To keep his board in a pretty stable state. Steve-O got a couple holes in different places, but it should burn down. And transitions slightly dirty, not an issue long term. He's gonna live through it easily. And Noel transitions a little awkwardly as well. So yeah, 100k lead going into transition for Steve-O. Both players are doing a little bit of board maintenance. Spiraling a bit for Noel. Got some weird overhangs going on the left here. And Steve-O not letting up the pressure, and Noel will top out. Steve-O in the lead is good. That is the set. check. All right, chat, so we are doing a little bit of stream maintenance here. We are into the semifinals, which will be all best of 5, all on the big screen moving forward, and we are putting in the Tetris gem cards, which means from this point onwards, we'll have same piece sets. So if you'll give us just a few more minutes to get the next players in, get the tech working, and we will be right back at you with some more Tetris action.
2, 1, Tetris! All right, we are back with the semi-finals for the South Carolina Classic Tetris event.
Both players are starting out pretty solidly here. Hidari gets the first Tetris. Superminds fires right back with a Tetris of his own.
All right, both boards are looking pretty good to start here.
And another Tetris from Superminds at 46,000 points. Hidari at 45,000. Good start, clean.
That was a nice adjustment for the square tuck for Superminds.
He's got a bit of a hole in his stack, gets the long bar to clear it out. Meanwhile, Hidari gets a Tetris. He's 91,000 to 51,000, so a 40,000 point lead.
Simul Tetris for both players, 74,000 to 114 with Hidari in the lead.
We just got some solid rolling from Superminds over there. Gets another Tetris. Oh wow, Supermind setting up dirty. Gonna have to burn some pieces for this. Looking for a long bar, and just covers the well a little too late.
As we can see, Superminds is actually using a relatively new, or I guess not so new anymore, technique called rolling, where he's actually hitting the bottom of the controller and bumping it into his thumb, which is on the D-pad. And that's how he's able to move these pieces over so quickly.
And theoretically at those speeds you could play infinitely, but we'll see how the tournament ensues.
All right, 189 for Hidari to 150 for Superminds.
Pretty strong showing. There's another Tetris from Superminds. Gonna get set up. Hidari is looking for a long bar. Finally gets it. There's the Tetris. 213,000 for Hidari, 179,000 for Superminds. And another Tetris from Superminds, 202,000. Pretty close. But Hidari takes another Tetris now at 239,000.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some of the back and forth aspect of Classic Tetris, where both players are just firing on all cylinders, getting Tetrises back to back. The score keeps on flipping. Both players are going up into the high scoring, which is really exciting to see for these live events.
Pretty strong showing from both. Right now they're at 263,000 for Hidari and 253,000 for Supermind, so it's really, really close here.
Nice job, Superminds, getting all those tuck setups settled. Make sure you angle it. Angle it.
Supermind's dealing with some traffic here. Would love a long bar, but it's not coming yet. Finally comes. It's cleaning up, almost there. Hidari's at 356,000, so gaining a lead. Another Tetris now at 379.
All right, both players are clean and Tetris ready.
Another Tetris from Hidari. 402,000 to 329,000.
We're getting closer and closer to transition, where the game is going to speed up by 50%.
Finally gets the long bar, Superminds. Gonna need another one. Would love one right now, but just not getting it. Meanwhile, Hidari hits a really dirty Tetris, now at 448,000. And a super dirty Tetris from Superminds at 357,000.
Almost a 100,000 point lead for Hidari.
But you never know, with this rolling style, you can get away with a lot.
Oh yeah, we've seen some amazing catch-ups today. We've seen some players with rolling be able to make up an incredible deficit.
Well, yeah, speaking of deficits, it looks like Hidari's at 501,000 points. Superminds is only at 389, so got to catch up sooner or later. Transition looms.
as 19 comes, we're definitely going to see the differences in these two play styles, because as the games get faster, or as the levels get faster rather, we begin to see more how rolling is very useful, and that high piece movement is able to build higher and score higher on these higher levels.
The scoring potential is massive here, and as we get closer and closer, Superminds gets more aggressive and more aggressive. Look at this. Pushing those line pieces all the way over to the left. Considering the setup here, could do it, just needs the long bar. And there it is. Tetris is now at 484,000. Hidari's at 593,000, has not transitioned yet, so this is amazing pace.
And here we can see that faster speed. You can see the pieces are just whizzing by, but that rolling playstyle is allowing him to just get these pieces exactly where he wants them with no problem.
Hidari's at 617,000, trying to build up the lead. Superminds is getting clean, looking for a long bar. There's the Tetris, 518,000 to 619,000. So Superminds is trying to catch up, but Hidari is just playing really strong. But this is going to be a problem. Does not get the long bar over and tops out at 619,000. So Superminds,
we're in a chase down. Superminds needs to get 620,000 points for the victory.
Would love a long bar here. Gets a long bar, but misdrops the long bar. Needs another piece, gets another long bar over.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that speed.
This is what I missed about in-person Tetris.
Just the intensity, and gets another long bar over to the left. Looking for more pieces, just shuffling them down.
There's still work to be done here. Again, 620,000 points necessary for the win.
And finally, with those pieces, he's going to get clean right here. There it is, looking for a long bar. Could use it right now. Not going to get it, going to take some burns. And finally, Tetris. 579,000 needs 620,000 points.
Only a few more Tetrises and that'll do it.
In fact, it almost could be one more right here. Getting the long bars, but not getting them right when he needs them. Finally set up, looking for a long bar.
Man, those long bars come at the wrong times.
Can almost do it. Where is it? There's the long bar, and there's the
There we
Tetris.
go.
And Superminds takes the first game. 648 to 619.
We are officially 1-0 now, so another win for Superminds would mean we head into a possible sweep. All right, is Hidari going to tie it up, or is Superminds going to get a convincing lead? I did not. Oh,
Yo, want the gameplay sound on?
yeah.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Game number 2.
2, 1, Tetris!
These players have same piece sets, so we'll see how each of them deals with this RNG.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about same pieces is that there's not going to be any unfair droughts because both players experience the same exact good or bad luck. So it really shows who's going to be the better player in each situation.
So then in this scenario, you can't blame RNG for losing because your opponent has the same exact piece set. So we'll see how they handle it.
All right, as we see, Hidari was able to use that long bar for a Tetris, but unfortunately Superminds was not quite Tetris ready. However, he did bounce back. Both players now at about 46,000.
Just getting their footing back in 18. This is pretty high scoring opportunity. Both of them can handle the speed pretty well, so we'll see how high the scores go.
And a good transition score to look for in level 18 is generally in between 500 and 600,000 points.
And these players are just more than capable of doing that. Superminds is at 162,000 points. Hideri is at 102,000 points. So,
Yeah, not too far apart early on. Even some bigger leads early game can be made up with some good 18 play.
and both of them are playing solid right now. Both of them get a Tetris. Board's looking real clean right now.
Oh yeah, these players are definitely very well versed in their decisions, and that allows them to make the best possible choices to maintain a good board where there's no jagged spikes, no crazy holes, nothing like that. You can see a nice, clean board on both sides.
Superminds is gonna get clean here. Would love a J piece, but no, that's not gonna work.
All right, there's the J piece. Hideri is now able to clean this up.
Superminds is clean, looking for a long bar. 240,000 to 162,000. Superminds got the lead. Getting a little high here.
Where's that long bar? There's the long bar for the Tetris.
And another one, a double Tetris.
All right, Superminds has taken a little bit of a lead here, 314,000 for Superminds to 256 for Hideri.
I mean, it always looks so dangerous whenever Superminds plays. Just builds so high, but somehow gets stuff over to the right and the left so quickly. It's crazy. Oh, this is getting a little dangerous. What gets the long bar gets over. Superminds at 411,000. Hideri at 307,000. So Superminds has pulled ahead here, playing absolutely aggressively.
All right, these boards are looking very nice right here.
Superminds absolutely piling these Tetrises. Already at 479,000. This is still early.
A little bit of trouble there for Superminds, but he's going to be able to get out of it.
Meanwhile, Hideri is burning the build down. Decides to play it a little safer.
All right, Supermind's getting a little high here. And he's going to get the Tetris.
And another Tetris transitions at 578,000. Hideri is still at 475,000, has not transitioned yet. Still has a couple lines to burn.
As you can see, Superminds has been able to keep that same height and that same good build quality, even though the speed is much faster.
Just waiting on the long bar. Hideri transitions at 501. All
right, Superminds is getting a little high here. Ready for the Tetris, and he gets the dirty Tetris to transfer the well back over. Meanwhile, Hideri is keeping it clean.
Superminds is just playing so spectacularly. We'll see how he handles this situation. He's gonna need a piece over to the right. Does not get it, and he's gonna top out at 752,000, so
753 is what you need, Hideri. 753,000 points will do it.
and there's a Tetris. This is getting a little dicey with love a long piece, but it's not going to get it.
Where is that long bar?
And this is going to be too much.
Oh no! All right, that puts Superminds ahead 2-0.
So they are.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, this is going to be game number 3. Superminds could win this and get a 3-0 sweep and advance to the finals. Or Hideri could come back and win it to get himself in the finals.
And that's what we would call a reverse sweep, but Hideri's got to make something happen. Now down 2-0. Going to need to pick up the pace and try to catch up with this guy. But
very nice column 9 Tetris for Hideri.
so both of them stacking up cleanly. That's a nice line for the line dependency over there for a Tetris. Wow.
All right, Hideri able to clean it up and get it back over to that right well that you see these players doing.
I'd say we call it a conventional well. Most players will build up on the right side and get Tetris on the right side. As you can see with Hideri taking the Tetris, 71,000 to 49,000.
As you can see, those long bars actually rotate to the right in any given situation. That's the reason why these players will be building the hole on the right to slot in those long bars for the 4-line clear, also known as a Tetris.
All right, both of them are clean. Superminds would love a long bar here. Gets a long bar, gets the Tetris. 118,000 to 95,000. Hideri gets a Tetris of his own.
All right, Supermind's looking to fill that dependency on the left. Gets a few good pieces to do that. He gets a Tetris in the meantime.
Hidari gets the long bar left as well. And gets the long bar for the Tetris. 147,000 to 166,000. Superminds has the lead.
We're pretty close early on. This could be anybody's game.
Yeah, in the early game, players really want to put up that score and take as many Tetrises as possible. Because at this speed, you just have more rain, more opportunity to move stuff. But it doesn't matter to Superminds. Superminds will roll it left or right.
Oh yeah, we could definitely see, especially when he gets high up, that he can handle these situations pretty decently.
But that's not to knock on Hidari. Hidari has just been playing really, really solidly no matter what. And it's just been keeping up. It's just Superminds has just been that much better.
Yeah, Hidari's definitely been keeping a very clean board here and playing pretty efficiently.
So we'll see what they can do. Another high board for Superminds. Gets the long bar anyway for the Tetris. That's really, really dirty. Meanwhile, Hidari is clean, gets a Tetris. 242,000 to 227,000. Superminds is keeping control, but board's getting a little high here.
Is Superminds going to get out of this?
I think he could, but he's going to need a lot of help. Oh no, misdrops the T-piece, but gets the long bar over.
Look at that phenomenal rolling.
Gets the double. Gonna get clean here. Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, Hidari's been catching up now at 276. Hidari's actually in the lead.
Hidari absolutely stacking effectively. Absolute stacker. We'll see how they handle it. Superminds at 267,000, so just been struggling a little bit with some holes in the stack, so gonna have to keep up.
Yeah, and digging is definitely an unfortunate situation in Classic Tetris, but you'll see these players try to get out of it both as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Speaking of efficiently, Superminds is really, really high. Could love a long bar, and there it is. But gonna need to do more than a triple to get back.
It's just amazing seeing these players get into high-up situations and just be able to quickly move pieces and make those snap decisions to get out of it.
So 370,000, make that 376,000 for Hidari. Superminds is at 289,000. A little bit of a struggle this time around, but not too difficult.
Yeah, as we can see, definitely quite a bit of a lead has been built up by Hidari, but it all comes down to that 19 through 28 level speed.
Because these players are just so high level, they can really stack it no matter what the scenario is, but it's just been a struggle this time around. Not as many Tetrises could be made.
All right, Superman's just waiting on that long bar. Where is that long bar? Has to take some burns. There's the long bar for the Tetris, going up to 339. Hidari at 389.
So Superminds is cutting the lead down, playing aggressively. There's another Tetris at 362,000, but Hidari fires back, 414,000.
Just like that, Superminds has made quite a bit of that lead up now, and it's almost even.
Yeah, about a 8,000 point difference here.
That really goes to show how important it is to play efficiently so you can score as high as possible. All right, we're in level 19 now. Pieces are whizzing by, but Superminds is handling it just fine. We're going to see how Hidari does with the transition.
What a nice tuck from Superminds there. Hidari getting their stack in order. Would love a piece to fill. There it is. And transitions at 448,000. Superminds is at 465,000. Hidari's got a little bit of a pace lead here.
At this point, you'll notice the levels go up very quickly. Every 10 lines, the levels transition. And once we reach level 29, the speed is going to go up for the final time. And that's what is commonly known as the kill screen.
Yeah, we used to call that a kill stream, but when rollers like Superminds show up, you would never know. He could go for like 5 levels, it doesn't matter.
It's amazing to see what these players can now do on what was previously dubbed a place that you could not even survive anything on. Oh, a crucial square miss drop, but immediately gets that long bar tuck. Great reaction time. Unfortunately misses the T-spin, but then gets a Tetris.
Bursts it down really quickly, but Hideri cannot keep up at 507,000. It is over.
All right,
Supermind takes this.
congratulations. 3-0 for Superminds, who is now advancing to the finals. All right, stay tuned, everybody. We're going to get the other semifinals match up, so we're going to see who's going to be playing Superminds. We'll be right back. Nice. Is this on? All right, for those of testing. Testing, there we go. All right, for those of you just coming by, this is the semifinals for the Classic Tetris South Carolina event. We have Steve-O versus NDDK coming up. 2, 1. Tetris! All right, kicking off the second match of the semifinals. We have on the left, Steve-O, and on the right, NDDK.
Both players are starting off really strong here. A little bit of a dependency on the left for Steve-O, but gets a long bar for the Tetris. Fills it in with a long bar.
All right, a little bit of a tuck setup on both sides. Both of them choosing to fill that in with the J piece.
Ooh, almost misdrops the J piece Steve-O does, but getting clean. Would love a long bar.
Meanwhile, NDDK just cleaning up a few things here.
Boom, Tetris for Steve-O. 72,000 to 52,000, so a 20,000 point lead for Steve-O. Looks like NDDK is trying to keep it down, trying to get himself back in control.
All right, a Tetris for Steve-O there, going up to 98,000. NDDK firing back with a Tetris of his own, up to 79,000.
Pretty early days, back and forth. Steve-O gets the J piece to fill in that dependency. NDDK gets a Tetris, 101,000 to 443,000 for Steve-O. Looking clean. Nice adjustment with the T piece, another Tetris for Steve-O.
All right, the boards are looking pretty nice here. As you can see, there's no crazy jagged boards, no crazy holes, nothing like that. These players are playing what I like to call textbook Tetris.
Both boards looking fundamentally sound here. Just keeping burns, keeping steady, not letting the board go to waste. There's another Tetris from NDDK. 172,000 to 190,000, so Steve-O's been putting up the pressure. Gonna need some pieces to solve this though. Gets a L piece. And gets a T piece, nice burns. Looking for a long bar, holding out. Getting a little high here. Has to bail out, but gets another long bar for a Tetris.
Very nice job from Steve-O getting out of that situation there. All right, it's pretty close here, 230 to 219, so not much of a point deficit for either player. As you can see, a little bit of some problems on the board for Steve-O, but he's getting out of it just fine. Just a few more pieces and he'll be able to clean that board up and get it right back to a right well.
Unfortunately, that J piece is going to be suboptimal for Steve-O, but could decide to build up on row 2, but gonna have a couple holes. Would love something to stick over to the right. There's a long bar. And decides to take a burn. Just getting himself clean up. And finally is all the way down.
That was a nice piece sequence there to resolve the board for Steve-O.
Both players are playing low here. NDDK is trying to play solidly. Has not been too aggressive. Steve-O is trying to get aggressive, but it seems like the pieces are just not cooperating. But finally gets a Tetris, 274,000 to 294,000, so this is really close.
As we can see, the players are taking a lot of extra line clears, which we like to call those burns, because you're burning your potential to get Tetrises. But it really is kind of a gamble to avoid any sort of burning, because then you might have to place things in some unoptimal ways. Because as you can see from earlier games, all it takes is 1 or 2 slip-ups, and the game could be very well over. And especially when it's only a best of 5, you don't really want to be pushing your luck with that.
Speaking of a little bit of a misdrop, NDDK is going to be a little bit high. The board quickly goes to trash immediately. Would love a long bar. But these stacking these expert burns keep NDDK alive at 372,000. And now Steve-O at 368,000. It's really, really close, as we like to call neck and neck.
And as you can see, we are right back at this nice, clean textbook Tetris. Both players with very nice boards, stacking up and slamming down those long bars. So
despite all this burning, the score potential is still really high for both of them. Steve-O in a little bit of a precarious situation, gets a long bar. Would love another one, and another Tetris now at 417,000. 2,000 point difference. NDDK gets a Tetris of his own, now at 441,000, so this is really close.
All right, we're getting closer and closer to level 19, where the game's going to speed up by another 50%.
A little bit of a little bit overhang for Steve-O here. Gets a couple burns. Ready for a Tetris. NDDK also gonna have to get himself clean here. All right, Steve-O is at level 20 at 505,000. NDDK is at 545,000, so about a 40,000 point lead for NDDK. Also has a little bit of a pace lead, so.
Yeah, as we can see, both players are whizzing by through these levels, getting really high up there for NDDK. He's waiting on that long bar. There it is. He's going to slam down that Tetris so high up on level 20. A little bit of trouble for Steve-O, but he's going to get out of it.
So both players are consolidating their stacks here. Looks like Steve-O's got a couple burns to do. NDDK is looking for a long bar at 591,000. Could extend the lead, but the line bar is just not coming. Finally comes.
There we go, slamming down that Tetris. That's what I love about level 19 and onwards, is that you just have this edge of your seat feeling. Where's that long bar? Where's that long bar? And they finally slam down the Tetris, and it's the most satisfying thing. And speaking of, Steve-O might be in one of those situations. He's waiting on that long bar. Where is it? Unfortunately, he's having to burn it down. He's playing smart here. Definitely not going for anything too rash.
Got a couple holes in his stack here. Meanwhile, NDDK is playing really solidly at 658,000. Is extending the lead. There's another Tetris, 687,000. Steve-O burning down, trying to get Tetris ready. Finally gets a nice double, but that S piece is going to cause some issues here.
Yeah, as you can see, all it takes is one or two rough pieces to cause some problems. So that's why these players are going to try to create a board that can accommodate every single piece, and then they don't have to worry about that problem. But it's very hard to maintain that, as you see from earlier.
As we creep closer and closer to the 29 transition, both these players know that scoring is very, very important in order to keep ahead. Looks like NDDK is firing hard every single piece, but misdrops the L piece.
Both players high up here.
Steve-O gets some pieces over to the left, gets a long bar, gets a Tetris, 659,000 to 793,000. NDDK is in some trouble. Gonna need a piece over to the left. That S piece is not gonna work.
All right, NDK is almost out of this situation. Just needs a few more pieces. There's the long bar for the Tetris. And both players are whizzing by, slamming down these long bars now for these final Tetrises. 704K for Steve-O to 867 for NDDK. So this is not looking good for Steve-O as time is running out.
NDDK has just been playing really, really solidly, getting these Tetrises, staying out of trouble, but Steve-O is climbing back here, 772,000. Gonna need to do something before this kill stream happens. And he's really far behind at almost 100,000 point deficit, so.
All right, in just a few moments, you're going to see the fastest speed in the entire game, and we're going to see how these players handle it.
But unfortunately, Steve-O cannot handle it and tops out at 846,000. So that means at 981,000, NDDK takes the first game.
All right, and just like that, we are 1-0 in the semifinals. All right, in just a few moments, we're going to kick off game number 2. 3, 2, 1, Tetris! All right, right off the bat, you can see the differences in how these players are placing these initial pieces.
Yeah, despite having the same RNG, players like to stack really uniquely. Like, you've seen the really, really high stacking from Superminds. You've seen the really, really clean play from Hideri. So we'll see how these two players compete.
All right, looking pretty good so far. Both players getting their Tetrises with every single long bar.
A little bit of housekeeping for for NDDK here, my bad. Steve-O, his stack is looking really good. Gets a long bar, gets a Tetris. 91,000 to 72,000 for NDDK. So Steve-O is just taking a lot of advantage of the long bars he's been getting. Meanwhile, NDDK is stacking up, but just has not been able to use the long bars as effectively.
All right, a little bit of a dependency for Steve-O there. He's looking to put something in there. Unfortunately, has to put the T piece, so this is going to cause some extra burning. Horrible pieces on Steve-O's side here. How is he going to handle it? He needs to get something on that left side. Gets a very nice L piece, but again, it's just going to have to be one piece at a time here.
It's looking a little bit dire, but Steve-O has handled this in the past. We'll be able to do it again. It is not out of control. Gets a nice L piece. And another one. Meanwhile, NDDK is clean. Gets a long bar. Gets a Tetris. 172,000 to 126,000. So Steve-O is not that far behind, but would love some pieces in order to consolidate the stack. But just has not been going his way here.
And that's the worst thing about seeing these situations, when someone's like so close from being clean, but it just all they need is that one or two good piece set, but it just doesn't come. Fortunately, though, it does look like Steve-O is almost out of this. Although I might be sounding like a broken record here.
This is getting a little dicey. Would love a long bar on the right. Gonna need some help here. Gets the L piece. And there's the long bar. And survives with a nice double. So 222,000 for NDDK, 145,000 for Steve-O. Still fighting, still burning down.
As we can see, NDDK has been keeping it nice and clean, which also means nice and efficient. So this has caused a little bit of a score lead here, 269 to 152. So playing clean definitely pays off, and you can see that in these two scores.
Finally, Steve-O gets his board state correct. But covers it before he can use the line, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Looking for another one. Two have already passed. Hopefully another one comes, and there's another long bar. There's a Tetris, 183,000, 273,000. Amazing cleanup from Steve-O. Still has the opportunity here to bounce back, but NDDK has just been playing really, really solidly. Gets another Tetris, 319 to 184,000.
All right, so unfortunately, as we could see for Steve-O, there's quite a bit of some Swiss cheese there on the bottom of his board. So he's looks like he's gonna sweep it on the rug for now and get some Tetrises, some dirty Tetrises, while he waits for an opportunity to clean that up. Meanwhile, NDDK also having a little bit of trouble here, which might give Steve-O an opportunity, now that he's clean, to catch back up.
Now he can choose to set up in the center, and there he does. There's another long bar for a Tetris. But ideally, you really want that roll to the right so that you can push more pieces over to the left. But NDDK has been the one that's been doing that here. Deciding to keep that conventional right well stacked. Gonna need an L piece. There it is. And now he's clean.
Yeah, as DMJ in the chat has put it, these pieces do indeed suck for Steve-O. But that's really what makes a good Tetris player, is if you get the worst possible pieces, can you still handle it and keep up? Because anybody can get a Tetris with good pieces, but few players can play like this with the pieces he's getting.
And it's just been suffering through this, just been trying to get his stack in order. These pieces have not been falling well for him, but somehow has still made it work. And with this L piece, he's going to be able to get himself clean. but decides to put an S on the right, so just a little bit more traffic to deal with. Meanwhile, NDDK has just been playing really, really solidly. Another Tetris takes him to 431,000, so 111,000 point lead.
Yeah, Noel's definitely the one with the math. All right, so unfortunately some rough pieces have come for NDDK, who had to put them all on the right side while he deals with the situation.
Gets a really well-timed lead, L. Gets a J really, really timely as well. Would love a long bar and gets a long bar. Very, very clean and efficient from NDDK. Meanwhile, Steve-O transitions at 332,000 points. Would love to get this board down, but gonna need some help. Gets a long bar, gets a T-piece, very, very nice. And gets another long bar, and he's going to be able to clean up and stay safe for 19 transition. Meanwhile, NDDK is at 485,000, gets another long bar, gets a Tetris. So back and forth action here.
All right, and this is the Tetris we love to see. NDDK slamming down another Tetris. Meanwhile, Steve-O's almost clean. There we go, and both players are clean and ready to start building up for some Tetrises. So this is really going to show who's the one who can use those long bars more efficiently for those Tetrises.
Steve-O picking up the pace. Oh, just covers up as well before the long bar can hit. But gets another one. Boom, Tetris for Steve-O, 376,000. NDDK at 542,000. That's not a Tetris, but he's going to be able to burn his stack down. That square is really untimely, but he's going to be able to clean it. Meanwhile, Steve-O is going to play in the center. Nope, decides to burn. Probably the smarter decision, as 19 speeds can really get ahead of you, can really push you to your limit. So he's going to decide to play it safe, burn it down. NDDK just gets another Tetris, extending the lead.
Yeah, and Greg Boom Cannon on our Twitch page made a great point here. Even if the pieces are the same, it all depends on the board state that these players create. Oh, and it looks like there's a bit of a hang on that L piece there. Is Steve-O going to get something over to that left side? Going to have to be a long bar, not getting it, and that's going to be it. Steve-O's going to top out at 423,000, so NDDK gets another win. Two, one, Tetris! All right, here we go with game number 3. So NDDK could potentially win this in a sweep, or we could see Steve-O come back after 3 games in a row and win it.
Steve-O has been fighting through so much traffic, he's been playing so hard, but NDDK has just been playing a lot more solidly, so we'll see how Steve-O can respond. Still has an opportunity here. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Steve-O having to take some burns, waiting on a long bar. Unfortunately, gets it at the wrong time. Going to need another one for that left side, but is actually set up for a dirty Tetris that would transfer the well. Can he get that long bar? And there it is for the perfect dirty center well, or left well Tetris. Meanwhile, NDDK having some trouble now.
Yeah, it looks like a couple holes of cheese, Swiss cheese, in fact. But NDDK is going to be fine. This is not too high yet. Meanwhile, Steve-O gets a Tetris. Board state is clean. Parity is nice. So we'll see how NDDK can handle this. Gets a well-timed J. Would love a T-piece. Decides to fill it with an S.
All right, the scores are pretty close early on, only about 20 to 30,000 points apart. Nice Tetris for Steve-O. NDDK getting a very nice S piece to fill that hole. Unfortunately, gets a really bad Z piece, has to just put it on the right, and gets a nasty square piece. So we're going to see how how NDDK can deal with these rough pieces. Meanwhile, Steve-O is nice and clean, just waiting on that long bar. Unfortunately, gets the long bar at the wrong time, needs another one. There it is. Steve-O's going to get the Tetris.
It It's just amazing how Steve handles that height. That looked like it could have been fatal at any moment. Meanwhile, NDDK getting a dirty Tetris, trying to fire back. Looks like about a 70,000 point deficit here.
All right, and with that, NDDK is clean. Both players are now building up for Tetrises. 177 for Stevo to 81,000 for NDDK. But again, this is early game, so it's still anybody's game. We saw earlier like a 150,000 point deficit get made up by level 29.
Yeah, in the earlier rounds, Tetrises are the most priority. You want to be more aggressive in these levels so that you can score, have higher score potential, so it's easier in 19. But since both these players have the same piece sets, it's all a matter of stacking here.
And yeah, that's a good point. How are these players going to use these same exact pieces in different ways to create an ideal board? Nice Tetris for NDDK going up to 172. Now has to deal with a little bit of trouble here, but gets a very nice L piece to put on the right side.
So both these players are grinding, both these players are burning. Stevo gets a Tetris, 275 to 176. Make that 200,000, so about a 75,000 point deficit for NDDK. Stevo with another Tetris, taking it to 298,000. Both of them playing extremely solidly. Just Stevo's just playing just a tiny bit more efficiently. Gonna have to deal with this hole right there in the center, but with a couple pieces, this should be okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, NDDK had a little bit of a hole there that wanted a square, but he just didn't get one. So now he's created a long bar dependency. So all he needs is a long bar, but who's telling when that'll come? And unfortunately, it doesn't come in time, so a few more pieces are gonna have to burn this out. But there we go. NDDK is going to be able to clean this up with a nice sequence of pieces. And now both players are clean and ready to build up for Tetrises. 347 for Stevo to 254 for NDDK.
NDDK just struggling to try to catch up. Stevo has just been hammering down these Tetrises. Now 370,000. Gets a J piece on the left. Gonna look for another long bar here. Covers up the well. NDDK playing a little bit aggressively, playing on the top. Would love a piece over to the right. Not going to get it. That square is going to be really, really unoptimal. Still gets the piece over to the left. Would love an L or a J right here in the center. Gets it. And now NDDK will be clean, just looking for a long bar. But where is this long bar? Finally gets it. 286,000 to 383,000. So Stevo has not taken full advantage. It looks like it's been pretty level as far as scoring potential, but Stevo has just been keeping NDDK just at a stiff arm right now. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Stevo's just been consistently keeping that score pretty high, and definitely these players push each other. You know, I mean, you just see some crazy deficits, and both the players are just having to really push themselves to score as high as possible just to stay in this thing.
So as transition looms, the lead has gotten down to about 50,000 points, so still any one game. Simul Tetris for both of these players.
We have a message from Chris Forrest. It says, if Stevo wins this match, I'm shaving my mustache and recording it.
A little bit of pressure for you, Stevo. Transitions at 462,000. NDDK with a little bit of a misdrop here, right before transition. Hopefully he can solve it. Oh, that hang is going to be an issue here. Gets an L piece. Gets a J piece. All right, and NDDK is safe. Meanwhile, Stevo is looking for some pieces to clear this up. Gonna need a long bar in the center. Gets the long bar in the center. Gonna put that J left, but cannot get the long bar to the left, so this is gonna be a problem. And somehow Stevo finally gets that over to the left. NDDK is playing pretty solidly, trying to get a long bar to the right so he can get a Tetris, but Stevo hangs the T. This is gonna be a problem. I don't know how Stevo's gonna handle this. And this is going to be way too high, and Stevo tops out at 475,000. So NDDK takes the game and the match.
All right, congratulations, NDDK, winning 3-0 to go to the finals against Superminds. We will be back in just a moment with the finals event. All right, for those of you just passing by, this is the Classic Tetris South Carolina Finals coming up in just a few moments. We have Superminds against NDDK. 12 players fought valiantly to reach this point, and only 2 remain, and we are going to crown the champion. All right, well, we got a pretty good crowd out here today. Who all's ready for the Tetris Finals? All right, as you can see, both the players are just warming up here. Supermind's practicing on 29 because of course he can.
This is just ridiculous speed, ladies and gentlemen. Look how fast these pieces are moving down the board, but Superminds is controlling them really, really effectively, so this is just special to watch.
I really, really hope we get to see some of this in the match today. All right, we're getting this set up for our finals match. All right, let's kick this thing off. You ready? I'm ready. All right, let's count this down. 3, 2, 1. Tetris! All right, the 2 best players head-to-head in this finals match We had 12 people in the beginning, and slowly it got brought down and down to these final two. Superminds on the left and NDDK on the right. Both players starting out very solidly with several Tetrises.
Yeah, both these players showed an impressive showing in quals. Got through multiple people just to get to this moment. NDDK is playing solidly here, 69,000. So is Superminds.
All right, our Twitch chat is very much in support of both of these players today. A little prediction is going on, and there's plenty of points going into both. All right, 137 for Superminds to 115 for NDDK.
Stacking looking really solid. That's a nice burn from Superminds. Gets a long bar, gets a Tetris. Meanwhile, NDDK is just getting his stack set up. Gonna hang a little bit on the right. Gets a nice T-piece, gets another T-piece. Now is clean. Incredible stacking from NDDK, gets a Tetris. 165 to 183 now.
All right, you can definitely see these players doing some creative tuck and burn setups. They do anything they can to keep the board as optimal as possible, where there's no crazy jagged lines and things like that. And as we can see, both boards are looking pretty good. Little tuck setup there for NDDK. Let's see how he resolves it. Waiting on a piece to put in there. And there we go. There's the J to tuck under there. Both players waiting on a long bar. NDDK gets the Tetris. And just in time, Superminds gets the Tetris. 254 to 235. We're already seeing some very high scores here, and we're just about neck and neck.
I mean, we got the best players in the competition here, 1 and 2. Very nice tuck from NDDK. Superminds with a little bit of a hole with that T-piece, but with a couple burns should be okay. Long bar dependency right in the center. That's a very cerebral burn from Superminds. Getting that piece right in the middle, burning, gets another bar. Meanwhile, NDDK stack has been completely clean. Looks like he wants to get dirty in the middle. Superminds here. Decides not to, just burns it down. Just trying to keep the stack under control. Waiting on a long bar. That's a really nice adjustment there.
Yeah, and speaking of adjustments, you can see those next box flashing on screen. These players pretty much exclusively are using those next box. If you try to get a professional Tetris player to turn off that next box, they could hardly play on a level even way slower than this. So those players are definitely planning out their moves all the time using that next box.
You just see them transforming their boards just to get themselves having accommodation in their stack, but NDDK is going to need some pieces here on the right. Getting a little high here. Superminds also not in an optimal situation, but is set up for a Tetris. Would love a long bar. There it is. Tetris for Superminds, really dirty. And NDDK gets the stack down. 412,000 to 410,000. Make that 411,000. This is really close. Tetris down the middle from Superminds. Tetris from NDDK. 435 to 435. Completely evens it up.
One might say we are neck and neck.
So many necks today, man. Very nice adjustment from Superminds. Gets another Tetris. Really high scoring today. And another Tetris from NDDK. 480 to 459. Transition is coming soon. Both of these players are playing really, really effectively now.
All right, Superminds just needs a few more pieces to get out of this. Unfortunately, doesn't get a square when that was definitely the piece to go for. Meanwhile, NDDK is keeping it nice and clean. 526 now for NDDK and 507 for Superminds. We are very close as we get closer to that level 19 transition.
And the pace has been really excellent here. But meanwhile, Superminds' board is going to get a little messed up. Would love some pieces to clear it out, but this is going to be a little bit of an issue. At 120 lines, transition is looming. 10 more lines to go. Meanwhile, NDDK is just keeping it clean. So they will transition in about 7 lines and 5 lines respectively.
All right, these players are bracing for impact. We're going to see level 19 hit, and the game is going to speed up by 50%. This is the second fastest speed that the game has to offer. All right, NDDK transitions with 585 and 544 for Superminds, so very close here, and we're going to see how these players adjust to this faster speed.
At this pace, both players are capable of getting max outs. That's 99999 on the scoreboard if you couldn't tell, but these players can play past that. Looks like Superminds is going to get another Tetris at 597,000. NDDK is at 660,000. It gets another Tetris, moving it to 687. Superminds at 6222. This is really, really close. Looks like Superminds got a little bit of a pace lead, so he's got a little bit more lines to work with.
All right, and as the scores get higher and higher, I do have to mention, if we do pass 1 million points, you're going to start to see letters, because literally numbers cannot tell you how much they have. So these are special cartridges that are going to display scores beyond that 1 million point. Oh, crucial misdrop for NDDK. Needs to get something over. Can he get something to that left side? He can't. NDDK is going to top out at 721,000. Superminds, you need 722,000 points, and you will take this game.
Just that dependency on the left just really messed it up for NDDK. Just could not handle the speed. So just a little bit more from Superminds. 1 Tetris should do it.
As we can see, Superminds immediately brought his board down, and these players have to adjust to what the situation is. They can't play too aggressively for the situation. Just waiting on that long bar now. Where is that long bar? There we go, and with that, Superminds has won game number 1 of the finals matchup. All right, game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Oh, and right off the bat, unfortunately, a little bit of a misdrop with that T for Superminds. All right, both players have cleaned it up, and now they're just waiting on that long bar for the the second Tetris. Oh, that is the first Tetris. 25K for both players. We're neck and neck.
We're extremely tied up. But NDDK takes the tie, but Superminds just fires right back. The scores are completely even. Well, this is just the beginning.
Down to the point. If either player presses down, they'll take the lead. And NDDK takes it with 6 points. Amazing lead from NDDK.
Sometimes you just gotta stick it to your opponent. If you know you're tied, sometimes you just gotta just change it. So NDDK decides to put 6 points on the board just so that it's never even.
The push down points matter, guys. All right, both players at 95K. Both players are using the same long bars for the same Tetrises, so these scores are dead even.
These stacks are really clean. Both of them just setting up for a Tetris. Looks like Superminds is going to get it ready first. He gets a Tetris, 186 to 163,000. NDDK fires back. Back to almost even. Some parity issues for Superminds over there, but gets the J piece and gets the Tetris. Still completely neck and neck.
Oh yeah, we love to see it. A lot of tuck setups, but yeah, these players can just handle these setups super easily. They know exactly which combinations. Look at that. Supermind saw that the next piece was a T piece, and he actually adjusted to make it fit with the next placement. Unfortunately, NDDK got a little bit of a rough square, but he got it cleaned up, and he's ready for a Tetris. So is Superminds. Both of them just waiting on the long bar. It's getting a little high here. There we go. There's the long bar for a simul Tetris on both sides. The scores are definitely getting a lot higher. We're almost halfway to level 19, so we could see 5 or even 600K transitions.
Yeah, this is all or nothing, folks. Both these competitors are giving it their all. Both of these Tetris are scoring. There's a simul Tetris. Supermind's really trying to put on that pressure, really trying to get as many Tetrises as possible. NDK really needs to keep it up.
Oh yeah, for sure. These players are pushing themselves like crazy. Oh, look at that. Getting that S-piece all the way left for Superminds using that fancy rolling technique. He's actually using all of his fingers on the bottom of the controller in sequence to move the pieces as fast as possible.
And with that ludicrous speed, he can really take it all the way up to the top. Would love a long piece. Decides to still not burn, just playing completely aggressively. Can still survive this. But it's going to get really, really high here, folks. Somehow getting these pieces over to the left and the right. Where is that long bar? It's still just trying to get these pieces over. Waiting for an opportunity to get this board clean and get something over to the right. Decides to do it with a J piece. Kind of suboptimal, but finally gets that long bar and slides it all the way over to the right. And another Tetris, taking it to 409,000. NDDK is at 371, playing as aggressively. We'll see how he handles it.
I don't think a single person in this room other than Superminds could have survived that situation. All right, the scores are still pretty even, though, 457 to 421. We've now crossed 100 lines, so level 19 is looming. It's coming up very quickly, and these players are going to have to adjust to that faster speed, but also the faster scoring. Tetrises are going to be worth more and more as we head into these levels.
And that's how the high scores are made, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone. Supermind gets the Tetris, 509,000 to 449,000 for NDDK. NDK is fighting valiantly, but Superminds is just playing just really efficiently, so just got to keep up. Another Tetris from Superminds and a Tetris from NDDK, back and forth.
This is definitely anybody's game, especially as we head into the higher scoring. Supermind's only 3 lines away from the transition, 4 lines away for NDDK. So the players are about to have that happen.
That was a really, really nice tuck sequence. Looks like he's got a turret on the left with all those squares. Would love a long bar, but doesn't get it yet. Transitions at 540,000. NDDK transitions at 505,000. Nice tuck sequences for Superminds, but gonna need something over to the left. Finally gets that J all the way over to the left and an L piece, so should be fine. NDDK also playing really aggressively, looking for that long piece, but it's not coming. Finally comes 533,000, 553,000 for Supermind. So Tetris action back and forth. Looks like the speed doesn't matter. Both of them are firing at an insanely quick rate.
Yeah, these players are just slamming through these fast levels. I mean, you see these players just build up incredibly high and still be able to get these Tetrises. As we can see, Supermind's having a little bit of trouble up high, but only a few pieces allows him to get out of this. He just needs a long bar. Where is it? And there it is. Both players slamming down a Tetris up in the 600Ks now. we could possibly see some max out scores of 1 million points. A simul Tetris.
The efficiency has barely gone down for both these competitors. Looks like NDDK is gonna have a sticky situation. It's gonna need something over to the right. Oh, and that L piece is gonna be an issue, but does get a Tetris. Gets another long bar. Needs to get this down. Superminds is running away now. And he needs to get a T-piece over to the left. Just can't do it. Somehow it's still burning, still alive. But how long can he last? And I think that's gonna be done. And NDDK tops out at 691,000 and Superminds takes game number 2.
Man, NDDK was just waiting for an L piece or something to put on that left side, but just didn't get any of it. Had to slam everything to the right in hopes of a last Hail Mary. So this puts us in an interesting situation. Superminds could take the finals in a 3-0 sweep, or NDDK could get the reverse sweep and come back and win it all. Who's hyped for this third game? Spirit Vet's hyped, and one other person who clapped. Great job, guys.
Yeah, I'm hyped too, man.
All right, let's try this again. Who's ready for game number 3? There we go. Three, 2, 1, Tetris! All right, this could very well be the last game of finals, or there could be many to come. All right, both players slamming down at Tetris. No burned lines yet, it's all been Tetrises so far. All right, unfortunately, Supermind's getting a little high and has to take some burns. This actually could get pretty nasty, but gets a good long bar to use there. Oh, some really rough pieces.
But even at this height, Superminds can still survive. The rolling technique is really, really strong here, but this is no laughing matter. NDDK can still fire back at 72,000 points. Got a little bit of a lead here. And just cleans it up. Superminds gets another Tetris and another one.
All right, both players have brought it down to a safe level here. Nice, Superminds filling in that hole on the left with that long bar. Both players building up for their Tetrises, 99,000 to 118. It's pretty close here.
But as you can see, Superminds is playing just a little bit more aggressively, just trying to get as many pieces over so he can get as many Tetrises as possible, not burning as much as he can. Meanwhile, NDDK is just trying to keep it as safe and efficient as possible as he can, but obviously he can't keep it as efficient as Superminds. He's just got to try to keep it up here.
Yeah, and again, no matter how much you try, at the end of the day, all it takes is a bad sequence to end things. So that's where the best players come in, where they can actually create a board such that if they get some weird pieces, they'll be just fine. And that's the hard thing to maintain, is a safe board. So even though Superminds is pretty high here, he's actually always able to put some pieces on the right to burn it down. There we go. Superminds gets the Tetris, goes up to 178. Meanwhile, NDDK at 192 with a slight lead, waiting on a long bar. There it is, just in time. Gets the Tetris, goes up to 215. So does Superminds, he's up to 207.
But yeah, just because Superminds has that rolling technique doesn't mean that NDK is just a pushover here. Has been going through every transition, has been striking every Tetris that Superminds has been getting. NDDK has been firing back, but just still, Superminds just seems to be as aggressive as possible, just somehow getting Tetrises every single time. NDDK is playing efficiently, firing as much as he can as well. So, valiant effort from both players.
Yeah, I definitely could not be prouder with this matchup for the finals. Oh, Supermind's making an interesting adjustment. He moves the long bar to fit that square on the left. All right, we're passing halfway to the level 19 transition.
Yeah, at this pace, both competitors can get about a 500 to 550k transition. Both of them are playing really, really strong here. Superminds gets a Tetris, and NDDK is looking for a long bar right down the middle. Decides to cover up with a J piece, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue here. Would love some pieces over to the right. Should be fine, but is going to need some help. And somehow gets that T piece over to the right, and is still alive, gets a long bar. But this is getting really high. I don't know what he can do, and oh no, he hangs the piece and tops out at 347,000. So Superminds needs a burn. Needs 348,000 points to take it.
And there we go. Give a hand to your South Carolina Classic Tetris champions, Superminds, winning in a 3-0 sweep. So how was that finals match, guys? All right, about half of you liked it. Good to know. All right, thank you everybody for being here today to watch these amazing competitors play an amazing, wonderful game. And you all have a great rest of your day. We also would like to say thank you to the Southeast Game Exchange for hosting this amazing event and allowing us to use their space and their time. Thank you very much, Southeast Game Exchange. Retro World Series.